Thanks, Red. Thank you, Red. This is exactly how I wanted to begin our day. VG versus VP, two huge brands going up against each other. Alan and Cap going up against each other in the way they look at the draft as well. But Kyle, it does really feel like Cap's got a very strong point. Virtus.pro, they're playing a faster tempo than VG's really drafted.
I love this draft, personally. And I think that when you consider the role swap of Rezo, the new roster, VP not having as much practice together as a lot of these other teams, I think it makes a lot of sense. There's the similarities. If you remember when EG swapped Sumail to the offlane in that failed experiment, he was also playing heroes like this in the offlane. The last track, effectively core heroes, but as the three. And I like that they picked up a Chen because it's an easy way to equalize your lanes and ensure that all three of your cores should at least have a decent start.
Yeah, and that's a very important thing too when you look at the teams. I think the panel was touching on it before, that these teams have gone through some roster changes. VG Gaming had a decent, as far as a brand goes, result at the recent TI, while Virtus.pro kind of felt like, well, they were kind of already off the rails, already in the roster shuffle before they really got through TI. But either way, these teams, they're playing with new players, some of them just rebranded, which is Eurus. In case you didn't know, that is actually Paparazzi, who's playing that Juggernaut. So it's one of the heroes he likes to play. Weird side note, it's actually well, it could be known as two different things. It could be known as Euro Money, the Eurus.
I don't think so.
It's on Google, so it's a thing.
Okay.
And the other thing, it's the god of the Eastern Wind.
That seems a lot more likely.
It does seem a lot more likely, and that's from Greek mythology. So, side interesting tidbit for you.
Well, thanks, Toby. Of all the people to provide some sort of factual tidbit, you've probably
and I've
got
got
be the
this great
guy.
quote from a book that was done 20 years ago, and it's really important. Thanks, Kyle.
Huh? I don't know where you're going with this, Tobes. But I do like where no one went with the Lycan in the mid lane. I think this is a pretty cool matchup against Sniper. You have obviously a pretty substantial base damage advantage just because the Quelling Blade, and you've got that base regen. Nothing really beats Sniper anymore, it feels like, but Lycan definitely should at least trade here. And then once you hit 6, you just run at the Sniper. Any +1 should almost always land a kill.
It feels like too, like he takes it on the way, like he has to take the punishment. Leshrac then gets a real lane, and a Leshrac with no farm does never really feel like a proper Leshrac, and gives the combination with the Shadow Demon too.
You always want these self-sustaining cores in your side lanes when you're playing Lycan. You want to make the game easy. And it's always easier to play when lanes are pushed, but it also means that now you can farm jungle, and you always have options now, because let's say Leshrac's hitting a tower, Omni's hitting the tower. You can go to either lane, you can go push independently. You want to have that freedom to be wherever you want to be on the map, and it's always easier when you've got this sort of lineup around you. I also want to comment, we got a bit of a pause. I am not a fan of the last pick Jug in this case. You knew you were going up against a last pick overall from VP, but they already had 3 different ways they could potentially negate the Omni Slash. Could bounce to the Chen creeps, Shadow Demon Disruption, Omni Knight GA. It feels like this is a core that's incredibly dependent on the ultimate dealing full damage, and now with the Lycan pickup as well, VP, you got so many methods of tanking through it, and no real damage steroid for the Juggernaut. It's good with the Grimstroke and lane, of course, but against SD Lash, it's not going to land kills.
Yeah. But it's like, how do you even look at it that way? Like, okay, well, I get a dual lane which functions, but you still have to look at it as a timing for a team. How many games do we have to see of Centaur? Okay, they're actually going to try and go for this timing now. So there's the swell up, but Resolution just lands the stun. Potentially could have committed Eurus with the Blade Fury, but it still wouldn't have been enough damage. It's a level 1 Blade Fury.
Would have been close though. They did have a stroke of fate if Diwa was able to lay it down properly. Top lane, I like this little creep from Solo. You pick up the mana regen heal creep, and you don't wait. That's not a heal creep. That's just
a hill troll.
That's just a hill troll. All right, he may have misclicked. I'm going to assume that wasn't intended. However, it could be possible that it was. But
the hill tribes have their purpose.
Yeah. I would argue that the Ghost in that easy cam would be more effective if you want to grab that one, as it's got 15 more damage and a slow effect on the attacks, plus a much better BAT and animation.
Hey, ours is not the question. So Sniper's having the time of his life in mid. 16-5 against 12-4. Like, it's still just really sniper having that faster rate. And maybe that's something else we have to think about here from VG. The fact that no one really can lane against the sniper, but you need to have that early farm so the damage output's going to be there. Is that 20 to 25 minute window that Cap was talking about, like the push that can come from Virtus.pro, is this the way that VG Gaming can actually have sustained by having damage in the sniper? Oh boy, Solo. That's a lot of extra damage into you, but purification available, so Epi Kid's able to keep him alive.
I'm not sure, and I think no one, like 6 of those CS are wolves. No one has actually fed all of his spawns away to Ori middle. Very just strange, really. Like, well, Ori just shrapneled, and no one just harassed him with wolves through it. And you know, you don't want, wolves can't die. That is, you know, they don't need armor to push your buildings, but they do if you want to lane the middle. And it's similar to when you see Beastmasters feeding away boards. There's just so much bonus gold, even right here. Like, he denies that one, but he's just getting them killed off. It's very weird.
Oh, Solar purification. Epi Kid's able to get it off in time. That level 2 Fate Bolt, maybe surprising Solo a little bit with the amount of damage that's there. Hey, he's got the Ghost, so slow available against the Centaur, but they're still very, very low on life as they keep this battle going, and we get JJ to be really tested here as observer. Watch all the lanes, JJ. As there's kill potential on all of them. Up on top, Xiao Yu, low in the tree line, heading into the corner. There is no purification. They've already got that damage out. A hoof stomp, and into the trees he goes. Still slowed up by the Ghost. So PYW trying to get rid of it. Xiao Yu actually low on life also because he burned his salve, and then he ran straight back into Epi and got it cancelled off very early on. But they didn't have all the extra heal he wanted, and Chen's been forced to TP back while DY staying right on top of Resolution, but they can't reach him. This is the Juggernaut who just has to farm.
Yep. It's a very good lane against Grimstroke Jug. Formidable against any kind of melee offlaner, but SD Lesh, you get so much move speed on the Lesh that you can only really go for the Shadow Demon and a timely disrupt. So long as you juke out some spin damage, preferably the Grimstroke stun, you're just not going to die. And you can't get super aggressive as Eurus, you know, no matter how strong that wind blows, and you go up against the Edict of the Leshrac, you're just taking full damage no matter what. Nice. Top lane, yeah, nothing. I mean, nothing to do. I would say a static game probably favors VP in the event they're able to pressure and take towers, and that's going to start soon. No one is finishing up his Helm of the Dominator and level 6. Eventually, he's actually very far away from the HOD, but when he hits 6, he can pretty much pick and choose a lane to go try and find a kill. But Ori having an excellent start, already with 3 Wraith Bands and total lane domination mid.
Yep. And you're just seeing it there. No one's out. He's gone jungle, just short of his 6. Solo doesn't feel like he can push at all. Like his progression through the level seems to be very slow too.
But I want to bring up what Ori's doing, where a lot of other less experienced mid players are going to try and push with this catapult wave, whereas he's just relaxing, denying, and keeping lane control along with preserving the lifespan of his catapult. But this is big because otherwise, if he goes on enemy high ground, he risks dying to any move plus Lycan ulting out of the jungle. And he knows this is a possibility. So look how safe he's able to play under his tower. You get the bonus armor because you're next to it. And now he's even going to play, like, look how safe he's playing even though he's crushing the lane.
He had extra information too. The observer ward that was planted down on the bottom rune, it scouted out the movement coming in from save, and they've got the defensive observer ward around the corner, but Leshrac, Resolution will be the first kill underneath the tier 1 tower, while PYW completes his TP.
That's such a great play from a support there. You effectively are trading a teleport for 100+ second cooldown of that Lycan ultimate. Now Ori all of a sudden has 2 minutes of free space, and he can even look to start pressuring a bit. That's a really cool play, and what you want to see from your support. Don't let him make a move onto a tower, squander that ult. Even if he dies there, it's still a worthwhile trade.
And this is just not the start that Virtus.pro was definitely looking for. 7 minutes in, 1 kill on the board, 1,000 net worth advantage. It's going the way of Vici Gaming. It's not going the way of Virtus.pro. It doesn't really feel like they're building up any level of momentum. Resolution has 3 points in that Diabolic Edict. He'd love to get some damage to the tier 1 tower, but DY is... like, it's still only level 1 stroke of fate, but it's really good at just clearing out the wave, slowing it down, and giving Eurus that time to get into a better position and get the D on.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ori hitting mid tower.
So he came up after the gank has failed.
Better late than never, right?
Yeah, well, while there's no shapeshift to work with, feel good about it.
Yeah. It's a really strange game. You don't typically see Dota this passive, especially when you consider these teams involved. I mean, Vici, they're one of the slower teams, but VP, you know, when you think about their reign of terror throughout the last couple DPC seasons, consistently the best or second best team throughout the season until TI, of course. They were aggression incarnate. Like that was their strat. Lane domination, early pressure. And this is a little unconventional for them, especially watching no one, you know, farming jungle instead of playing as one of his traditional playmaking mids.
This is nice defense from Save. Very aptly named.
Yeah. It's cool too because the edict keeps sticking even when he's under disruption, so you can't get too aggressive there.
He's gone for the wraparound. Disruption's already been used. They don't have a save available. Resolution can land off his stun, but then they get a quick silence off. Ori blocks him in the tree line. Resolution couldn't make his way through the trees, meaning both the Lashrak as well as the SD is going to go down. The assassination won't be enough. And did Eurus just wait out his attack till we get the last one?
You can change your name, Paparazzi, but you're still going to play the same Dota.
It's like, don't you understand? I'm the 1v1 champion of the world, as well as being able to carry versatile cores.
Yeah. Soon VP will hit. They're down right now, 3 kills, 2k gold, but no one. 100 gold away from that Helm of the Dominator. His ult is active. They need to get something done soon. And it looks like mid might be the place, but I love this warding from Vici. If you check it out, they've got 3 defensive wards placed around the bottom half of the jungle. They're just camping their Centaur top. He's on an island. Everyone else playing around mid.
Rez, he's actually doing this. He's sitting in the little edict spot. Gets the fortification to be burnt. Just to stop it is a level 3 edict, so it'll require some kind of movement back to stop him. That is forcing rotations, and it looks like Virtus.pro want to fight. Shapeshift is up, but there is a lot of support here for Vici. The Wolves are scouting. They find their first target. No one. Quickly silenced up. DY looking for the double stun. Lycan, the shapeshift will come out. The stun from Resolution creating some space, but Ori just has more than enough damage. The save did not come in time from Save, while DY back out of the tier 1 tower will die to the Wolves. The support is there for VP. They have the numbers, they have the damage, but they don't have the speed, the distance, the range. It's there from PYW. Almost denied himself up to the Ancients running up the hill. While Ori is cleaning up the rest of Virtus.pro onto the tier 1 tower, claiming Solo's life. They really forced that Virtus.pro.
Yep.
And VG answered with Stampede.
The enemy of strategy is predictability, Toby, and Vici read that move like a book. They were prepared for it far in advance. Reminds me of watching last night's game between the Patriots and the Jets, to be honest. But
I'm sorry, not all of us are American or care.
Well, if you watched enough of the game, you wouldn't care about it either. However, my point is, VP, you know, you're making this move that's just, it's scripted, I get it, but, you know, Vici have seen the original too and they're ready for the sequel. You can't just make this sort of move against a team of this class. And you don't have 6 on Resolution. That's what really hurts. That would have been at least a faster kill on the Rubik. You can actually maybe take this sort of fight, but his damage output literally doubles if he hits 6, if not more than doubles. And you're making this move as 4 before you hit that power spike. It's just very low percentage play. And they'll group up bottom now, but same deal. You got both supports here ready to lane clear.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Eurus as well as Xiao Yu, they've been taking that tier 1 tower on top lane, but support just arrived so quickly. With the purification damage, Resolution just exploded, and they even get the extra silence onto the Omniper support. Now for Virtus.pro, we swing back the other way as Vici Gaming retreat to the tier 1 tower. A bit more heal is there. Xiao Yu ready to turn around, gets a double edge off with them leashed up together. So much damage into VP with the assassination. Solo just goes down so quickly too. Now no one. What can he do? He's shape-shifting to run to the back lines, trying to close that distance on Ori, who just instantly TPs away and then cancels it, wasting the time so no one thinks about coming in once again. But they've moved to the trees. The Ents protect VG, maybe with a stun. You have a little bit of an exposed Centaur, stampedes away, but dies during his own stampede. These heals just cannot be sustained from VG Gaming. And Virtus.pro feels like at least they're fighting back.
It's the same deal. You're making this move before you're 5. No one is not in range to ult forwards, and he's got a speed creep. You're already running as fast as you can. Why do you have a speed creep? If you're gonna go for a sniper, it's the 3rd time someone's tried to teleport out in front of him. That Wolf, that would be very nice to pick up. You know, you've already got the 2. This one increases the damage out, but I think that's what he will go for to help the farming speed.
He's got 1 second before the Dom's off cooldown.
Give me a stun. Give me a net. Any sort of TP cancel if you're going to try and make these plays.
Well, the Alpha Wolf is there, and VG Gaming Net worth-wise, they're looking pretty damn good. Not just with their own advantage, but 3 of the 4 top positions belong to them, and the Lycans behind. And we're talking about like Leshrac requiring farm. Resolutions had nothing, and I beg the question, just looking at the composition of the VP players. You know a lot of them well. You know Resolution very well. How does he actually function in the 3? Is there enough space on this map?
There
for
isn't.
all of
No,
them?
we watched this experiment already, Toby. We watched EG falter for 6 months because they forgot the look.
Isn't this what Quincy also agreed to as well? Like, where they're like, yeah, hey, Samel's like, okay, I can't take the 3. There's not enough space for all of us on this map.
Talk to Seb about it, all right? Somebody has got to take it, all right? Somebody's got to say, no, you know what, guys? You take the good game. I'm going to go like this 1-4-1 LC. I'm going to go die to this Timbersaw a couple times. You guys carry me. You can't do it in a situation like this.
Purge out and Ori really slowing him down. Support's there from DY. They get chained to control, but the sniper will still end up falling with his bonus damage and the pulse over the hop stomp. Xiao Yu keeping Resolution and no one stunned up, allowing the rest of Vici to get back under the tower. Resolution, he comes forward so far with his haste rune. He feels good and very versatile. They'll lose the Alpha Wolf of no one, and that's kind of where the push ends. You get the kill on the #1 net worth on the field. But what else are you going to claim from this?
Well, now the Lycan ult's down. No one is effectively not a real Dota hero. And you can freely pressure mid-tower, no problems.
Disruption, combination.
Wow, that's a lot of damage, Jesus. That was just a QW.
Shrapnel's down, Resolution out a little bit too far, instantly dropped back down again. Stampede, Xiao Yu just decides to run through absolutely everyone, and they stole Guardian Angel underneath the tower. They'll turn it on, but there's still enough magical damage from Resolution to get through Eurus, and he will fall. Now it's VG Gaming's turn to fight underneath Tier 1 tower, but with the shrapnels, they'll save, move away. You don't have to come back to help out with that tower. Ori, his assassination's on cooldown. He can't see him, and they'll smoke for a wraparound and a bit of safety for the 15-minute runes.
I know it's denied, but Vici taking the first tower in a game against a Lycan Leshrac Chen lineup, that is not supposed to be how this is working out according to VP's game plan. And going back to this point about the 3 core setup, this sort of lineup works way better if you're taking towers. If all 3 cores have the ability to play independent on the map, like we saw in the games that EG won when they put Sumel onto the offlane. They'd have some kind of like DK mid and 2 other cores. And if someone was going to get sacked, it was always going to be old man Fear. In this case, I just feel, I fear for VP if their strategy is moved to putting no one on like what is really the 3 from the mid lane, because this guy was the perfect barometer for VP's success. When he was winning lanes and having high impact on playmaking heroes, on DP, on Tiny, that's when they were winning games.
Yeah.
This is a completely new play style for one of the best mid players really of the last couple of years, easily out of top 15.
Maybe you also feel the absence of people like Ramses. Like, you talk about having a lane that's sacked. Ramses was always so good at this, playing heroes like Lifestealer, who didn't really require that much in the lane, but could not have to have any support and still get a decent amount of farm for when the rest of his team created space. And that space never really came, right? Like, you almost want to push Chen to the offlane early on and say, hey, can you go and harass this? Can you bring attention elsewhere? VP, they're now doing it, feeding into the tier 2 towers. They rip through these with the Leshrac, but Ori, he's in the trees. DY is here too. You have the Soul Bind available.
Centaur canceled. He's all the way top now.
Are they going to come in? Well, with no Centaur, you have Stampede available, so at least he'll give that, but he kind of needs to bring the Crimson Guard. It looks like they decided to just do the tier 2 trade.
That's definitely good for Vici in a sense that they're evenly trading, but VP, keep on, like, this is still a lineup with incredible damage onto towers. You've got to be cautious if you're Vici. One mistake, one screw up, if Sniper and Rubik die, you can't clear waves anymore. You will just have VP launch an assault full of far more numbers than you can account for, and it's going to destroy your structures and then go straight into the Roche pit.
That 20-minute window is rapidly approaching. And VG Gaming, they're making the most of the timing they've got. There, of course, is a lot that VG can work with, but they decided not to even take the trade. Like, Eurus is just creep skipping out at the moment. Anything to delay Virtus.pro's push to allow his sniper Ori to get bigger and bigger, get towards the Hurricane Pike. He at least starts having an answer to this Lycan, not just in damage, in range, in position.
And do look at PYW. He's going to have GA up. Just lost it. Thought they might try and take a fight before it faded, but he's had great steals all game.
They're here for the army. They're not even here for solo. They just wanted to destroy his army. Save.
Oh,
If
no.
there's a hoof stomp, yeah, it's going to be both a telekinesis and a hoof stomp to cancel his TP away to safety. And welcome to the damage output, increasing Shadow Poison level 4, stolen by the Rubik.
Bottom lane, Jug in trouble. He has no TP, and Solo knows it.
Yeah, without the spin, he's got Stampede available, back under the shrine. Now extra support's coming in. He's still got the shapeshift, no one, looking for his own fight. A quick slow, that's not going to do anything. But maybe it exposes the mid lane. Solo, as well as Epikid, they bet running around the back. They still are playing with no one, or no one's playing with them, keeping attention of VG down near the shrine.
You fought well.
It's another ult squandered by no one, though. I've yet to see him really utilize one effectively, which isn't necessarily his fault, but more a product of the way this game has gone thus far for VP. Vici just playing their prototypical Dota around their two big cores, Ori and what used to be Paparazzi. I guess it still is. If you change your name, do you really change your identity?
You're still who you are, but as far as like what we have to do for him, as well as the public opinion of it, yeah, he's just going to throw away the branding of his entire life, and we'll start calling him Eurus, so we don't confuse anyone that's tuning in.
I mean, maybe he still plays as Somnus, and he'll always be maybe. Is that just because Somnus?
But he's also got the
name?
M at the end of his name too, so you're like, he still has like, it's just a tribute.
Gotcha.
Dire's bottom tower has
Centaur will be picking up a blink soon. Xiao Yu, of course, standing in for Yang at this tournament, having an admirable performance thus far. Once he picks that up, be able to make some plays, perhaps get a bit more aggressive. If you can get onto the back line of VP, it's much easier for Vici to take fights, and it also creates this line of beef in front of your artillery in the form of the sniper of Ori from the back line.
I love this from Rubik. It's like, so what am I going to get? Okay, I'm going to get a 4-star, but he's just had that Aghanim Scepter in his quick buy. It's like, yep, this is going to be great. DY starting off, the Inkswell, unable to hit that stun, but he'll still leash up. Both No One and Chen together, both picked up, both thrown back down again. DY just trying to get out of range of the Wolves, able to do so. And then Xiao Yu, Centaur is there for his own stomp. They push him away with that 4-star, and Xiao Yu, he's pretty damn tanky. Stick charges as well. Eurus creating himself a body blocker, killing off those Necro units. And Virtus.pro really pushing hard, but onto one of the hardest targets. So much armor, so much life, and they just can't break him.
Plus the active from the Crimson Guard for the damage reduction and all those creeps, taking their damage down to 0. You've got a healing ward ticking. Vici utilizing that cover and move concept incredibly well, where they just, you cast your spells, you just bait VP and buy time. The Force Staff as well to ensure that they could juke the Leshrac stun. It's really good play. And now they immediately smoke up because bounty runes have spawned and they're ready to rock and roll.
And they're hunting. With the Blink Dagger here on Xiao Yu, this will be the reveal, will be the stun, will be the under Observer Ward movement of Resolution. Another hero they want to make life difficult. Blink in, Hoof Stomp, follow up Inkswell, won't be able to connect because Save is in the neighborhood for the defensive disruption, but Resolution, the damage output just comes so thick and fast, and there's no way the VP can really get to the back lines. They can just sustain through the effect of the GA, but this wears off, and then you see the damage spill out across Virtus.pro. Epic is just watching on the hillside. There's not a lot he can do. He doesn't even burn the pipe for this fight. It would have been a waste of mana anyway. Buyback comes in from Chen, but they're coming high ground. The bus plus 259 damage on the Centaur. They want that damage as the buildings. Fortification will slow it up. No one. Here's your shapeshift in through the back lines. PY, what's he going to get? Absolutely nothing. He's got Heavenly Grace currently stolen up. Just the slow up on Chen. Isolate him up. No one actually gets leashed with him running too close to it. And another jump in. What have we got? Purification, more sustain, plus the Stampede. Centaur looking for the target. They're going for save. They're trying to remove this SD. Great defensive disruption. Dodging the Hoof Stomp. That they stick around? No, they won't. In fact, no. Blink out. Do a little bit of double-edged damage into Solo. But that's a waste of a shapeshift. No one's gone jungle. And that's for the right reasons. VG are not going to keep fighting this one. Juggernaut has to go down to the bottom lane. The tier 3 tower is taking some chip damage. But what do they get? Is there anyone they can really chase up to? DY is leaving the Inkswan just to snuff the Omni Knight, but that slowed him down enough. The Diffuser Blade is able to connect, and that's going to be enough of a hit with the disruption. They'll come back out of it and end up killing off DY.
Wow, that's just so well played. They only lose the 5. And both side lanes already now being pressured out by Vici. Just great play. And I want to comment, I mentioned how Jug didn't like the pick because it would be difficult to get Omni Slash. I haven't actually seen an Omni Slash this game, but it's because he recognizes that he can't squander it, right?
Yeah.
Once you use that big ability, you're no longer a threat in the fight. And you can see Paparazzi, even with that Stampede, he could have maybe gone for the shouting, but if the Disrupt goes off, now all of a sudden he's in the base with no big damage ability. He's done a really good job of ensuring that he's kind of using his body and specifically his healing ward to help his team position properly, activating his sniper specifically to deal full damage in fights.
I will correct myself as well. I said Diffusal. It was most definitely Purge. Because I was thinking Diffusal, the Juggernaut's not going for this against the Leshrac. Instead, as you said, like he's trying to get as much DPS out as possible, finish up Mjolnir. That's his item builder for the moment.
Really good when you have a center on your team against all these creeps and tick damage. You think of every single Edict proc, every single Pulse Nova proc, you have a chance to ensure that that lightning damage hits 12 different units in the vicinity. It is a ton of damage. And of course, you do have the ability to actively get chain lightnings off through auto attacks as well. When your Centaur has near 2,500 HP plus all that damage reduction, there's some natural synergy there.
Yeah, just a couple of things that you started to list that took 30 seconds worth of synergy. So VG Gaming, they now start moving a little bit further up the mid. Roshan could start to be a bit of an option as well as the damage output becomes faster from VG. We've already seen how fast they move through the VP heroes. But they have to establish vision control first. So cutting through the trees, getting observer sentries down. There is nothing from VP Gaming looking for this. They got one observer ward on the Radiant side of the river, inside, like, well, just north of the camp. So at least they see the movements around that shrine, but everything else feels very dark. There's an obs on the Chen at the moment, but that's it.
I love the force stats as well from Vici. You know, new season, new names, but the same Dota, just very solid. If you're gonna beat, like, they're not gonna beat themselves, right? If you want to play up against Vici, you're gonna need to be the team making the moves, trying to get the jump on them, and they're just playing like a well-oiled machine, constantly with the beef in the front lines. Now making a move under the cover of smoke as Bounty Rune spun up in 30 seconds. They're gonna find somebody.
Yeah, and VP's backing off. Well, okay, yeah, they do. They find the SD. They just had to back off totally then. Your Necro books were on cooldown for 15 more seconds as well, so VG had that great opening. There was smoke up. So VP again having no information. Too dark on the map for them to know really anything. Unless a lane's pushing in, they don't get information.
That should help.
And even then, their new observer what they plant down is defensive inside their own jungle.
No sorceries avail.
They get all the runes too, man. I know VP got the one, but it's just so. I'm sorry. I'll just keep gushing about Vici. I'm not sure what VP can really do to surprise them here. They need to make moves as 5. Their strength of the draft is the team fight.
Oh,
but
here we go
how
again.
do you win them?
Forced off, trying to get Eurus in closer. Resolution will use him up and towards the air. The Centaur missing off and he's stomping that army. It doesn't live very long, so I was trying to TP out in time, but the pickup with the vision, telekinesis, is able to stop that retreat from Chen, dead for 70 seconds. They're looking for a little bit more. Resolution beginning his own TP out, and he's able to complete it. Okay, that's down for bottom.
Another TP. I feel like this is we've seen this a lot. It's kind of deja vu as Vici heroes consistently teleport out of danger. Ori, by the way, is about to finish a butterfly. This man is about to do incredible damage. Gem now on the Grimstroke. Everyone on Vici coming online.
Yeah, 26 minutes. Watch that clock continue to tick. And like, this is one of those times where, like, you remember the words back of the analyst panel and you feel really sorry for him, because, like, I still feel like Cap was right. If Virtus.pro were able to add more pressure, then this should never have happened. The only issue was the sniper, who now will help to get that kill in towards mid lane onto Resolution, a long-range assassination.
Hey, look, we're right outside of the Roche pit, guys. Let's walk on in. And I gotta say, I love the double butterfly from Vici. It's pre-30 minutes. You gotta consider you're playing against the Lycan. How is he supposed to buy an MKB? This hero wants to buy auras. He wants to go for this AC, then a BKB. He's gonna be so far away from that item, and it's 35% damage reduction on both him and all of his creeps. It's just excellent choice. One thing I really hope we see in the new patch is a way to deal with evasion outside of the MKB. It just seems like, I don't want to see Butterfly nerfed, but I'd like some way of dealing with evasion from a support's POV, not just, hey, my carry needs an MKB, buy it, or we lost.
I suppose, like, the That's always those indirect nerfs that end up happening. But what, new item? Change to current items? Anyway. AC is the choice from Lycan instead. So yeah, not going MKB, trying to become, just having that little extra sustain. You do have the Aghanim Scepter on the Omni Knight. At the same time, like, Rubik's working his way towards that too. So they'll end up both having the same big abilities. This Lycan army is trying as hard as he possibly can to keep the split push going, to keep VG Gaming away from just moving up to the tier 3 tower and having the sniper chip your tier 3 tower down.
It's 9k gold. It's just they're online. There's nothing Vici need. And one of the more basic principles in Dota is hit a power spike, get strong, spend your gold, and just go walk around the map as 5.
I don't know if I believe at this. He's pulse novering down. They're going to fortify the wave up, allowing Eurus just to move over. Resolution already using that Yule Scepter. Support came over. He walked right underneath the Observer Ward. And Eurus just kept enough range. The Resolution still wants to clean up this wave. They'll stampede forward. Support is going to be there in the form of Epi Kid. Assassination's in, but then Hofstomp.
Beautiful.
Zhao Yu able just to get the perfect double stun. The Rubik is the never-ending control battle. Like, working with the Grimstroke, you just can't escape this.
How cool was that, though? You see Papa hold the Omni. As soon as that stun comes off, he knows that the Omni Knight is no longer able to assist. Boom, you're gonna get 2 kills now because you've allowed support to get in range. They're playing perfectly. There's really no criticism I've got for the squad thus far. It's clean and simple. And one thing perhaps we neglected, it is still early in the season. These are newer squads.
Yeah.
Vici's lineup's just much easier to execute. VP, this is so complex and difficult. You got all these big abilities with long cooldowns.
I think it would have
just rinse repeat.
It would have made more sense though if it was the aggressive kind of style. Like if Leshrac didn't have such a like a terrible matchup against the sniper in mid, then this lineup feels like it could have been a lot better. But the funny thing is, like, it's also just the way this Juggernaut has kind of played in, whereas this sustained damage pushing in, like, you're never going to lose the tower, the combinations, the dual lanes, they just focused for that on VG, and now they just keep going as well. The battle split between 2 different parts at the moment, where you're going to end up losing the Grimstroke down south. Save will lose his life as well. These teams split into 2 different sections, so supports will get dropped, but look at VG. They're ready to fight. Blink, Hofstorm forward, they'll pick up the 30-minute rune and then go and kill off Solo. While Lycan's back to pushing the mid, same for Resolution, almost killing off the Courier. It will get low, but not dead.
Yeah, Vici, the thing that they're doing that's quite nice if you're trying to become a better Dota player is the way this team shifts around the map. A bit earlier, they were 5 bottom, then a few staggered TPs. Suddenly, they're all spread out between the top and mid lanes.
Resolution blinks in, able to hit the stun at least, even though Ori did get the pike away, but he can't get the distance. Resolution self-closes the distance. You do have the Aegis of the Immortal. So spawned up and Ori's ready to fight once more, but VP, they're already out. They're very happy with what they've achieved. I don't know though if they have enough in the tank for another fight. You do have Shapeshift off cooldown in 3 seconds, Necro in 15. But it really feels like they need some level of sustain for that Leshrac. Like, he's, you get that nice quick jump and kills on Sniper will definitely help towards that, but only if they start rewarding with money.
It is always more fun when you're rewarded with money. I personally like to do things out of love, but it doesn't pay the bills.
Cracking a rock, does that really help you? Actually, isn't it just a rock?
No.
Do you think it looks like a rock? It's meant to be like, what, the heart?
It's a shield.
It's a shield.
It's an Aegis.
Yeah, it's a shield. But it looks like a rock, like a shield rock.
I don't know how you're going to try and make this work, Tobes, but, you know.
I'm just saying, like, it looks like it has rock pieces.
It might. I'd argue that they're more likely stone and or metal. Technically, you could argue that metal is rock-alike.
Really having a geology battle right now?
I mean, when Dwayne The Rock Johnson walked out as in his vast and varied career as a professional wrestler, he would typically choose heavy metal music. So perhaps that's the link you're looking for.
All right, so all we need to do is just find a counter to The Rock.
And you can see Rezo sighing.
So what is this game? What is this game? A 3-position Leshrac.
Hey, it's not bad. It's just a really rough game, man. That mid-move just destroys the whole timing and tempo VP had in mind for this game. The moment you lose that fight around the tier 2, tier 1 mid, what, like 9-10 minutes in, you don't get a tower, you lose your mid tower.
And we're back. Pause is off. Centaur comes high ground. He's got a BKB coming on the courier too, and they'll make him sparkle with the disco. Disruption up quickly. Xiao Yu comes back out of it. No one. Again, looking towards the back lines. Resolution, look how quickly he jumps straight towards Ari. He needs to bring down this sniper, and they're really able to do it. The penitent man shall not pass. Xiao Yu also in the tree lines. The BKB will land and blink away, but DY not anywhere near as lucky. Perched up, slowed up. And Virtus.pro, well, a bit of a pause. They composed themselves, and maybe some words were exchanged to get VP in the right mindset. And they take a huge engagement against VG.
That perfect timing. Right after I almost thought they were out of hope, they just...
Res is going again. Blink, Yule Scepter over towards the Rubik on the bottom lane. Able to get that control. Rubik will have a little bit of his own, just sending him back. But support, it's coming in. He bought the time resolution. No, Virtus.pro, they'll focus on the main objective. In through the mid. They need the buyback on the sniper and the tier 3 tower, and you already claimed this as a win. But Xiao Yu, jump forward. Sniper still not buying back the tower. No one will be able to claim it with his minions. And Virtus.pro are done. They won't force the buyback. They're just going for the shrine now. Really restricts the support that VG can bring to Roshan next time.
And immediately into the shrine. This is the threat of the draft, right? This is why you pick it up in the first place. No matter how far behind you are, VP can capitalize on just one little victory, and they get so much structural damage onto Vici's side of the base. Goldie not changing too much, but definitely some new life into this dire side. And I liked the BKB in that fight from No One was nice. He didn't go for the AC right away, recognizing this item will not really help me. We're not winning the fractional battle here. We need to just get some sort of high impact item that allows me to find the kill on the key target. In this case, it is the sniper. Once he has his own BKB, though, that's when it gets real tough to take down.
Yeah, then resolutions like jump in, damage and control doesn't help anywhere near as much.
He went for the full damage build, you know, Kai after the Yules, Veil, the Blink. And the Blink's a really cool choice here, recognizing like we need to get onto these supports. We need to kill the sniper. And that'll work once, but Vici's aware now. I don't expect them to move away from this fortified position on their own high ground until that BKB is in Sniper's pocket. He's TPing back to base to grab it right now because the courier's dead.
Always problematic. Well, VP will now take the second shrine. Edict push on the bottom. Well, Pulse Nova push from Leshrac. Keeping all the waves in, but Eurus has entered through the top lane. Hitting the tier 3 tower will force Epic Kid to TP back. Eurus, it's like, this isn't enough. I'm worth more than just Epic Kid. And the TP will not complete from the Shadow Demon.
And by the way, Omnia has an Axe, so
yeah,
that's a 10-second GA that also functions on structures, plus providing that 40 HP regen. He has had a Midas for nearly the entire game, and he is becoming a big issue.
I'm still wondering that, like, if you end up just having that nulled out by the Rubik, if he's able to get the steal with his own Aghanim Scepter.
That's a good point. That'll be a fun watch. I wish
GA versus GA, both Aghanim.
They just stand there, look at each other.
It's like, okay, truce, truce.
Another pause.
That's the man we were talking about.
Puppey not in the building, but his spirit lives on. As the teams now will have that a little bit of time to prep.
I'm sorry, there is not a fight that is 1 second away from happening, so you're good.
You never know, Toby. Danger could lurk around.
Like the pause before, like, well, okay, yeah, I guess this is Dota. There are global abilities. You know, actually, one of the other global abilities I'd like to have brought back is the restriction on nature's prophets TP. Only explored areas you can TP to. It's not just anywhere you want to.
Okay, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was a really quirky part of it. It was like the neutrals when they would sleep at night, and then we got that back as well.
I would agree if only there was a way. Like, the problem is that, you know, there's little, you know, maybe you want to TP into the trees. How do you ever know if you've TP'd into this spot but not that one? Like, you're supposed to just remember. You're supposed to drop a map as like Magellan as you traverse the planet. What is the planet called also within Dota? Like, where are they actually playing on?
I'm sorry, like Slacks is in Hamburg, and he's the one who can answer that question for you.
He's watching. I'll just keep up data with Twitch chat. You can always trust him for the lore.
What is the name of the planet that Dota2? Like,
No, I'm pretty sure it's Endless Carnage.
Endless
really
Carnage
ominous.
is the name of the game.
Yeah. I mean,
the name of the okay, the world would have had to have been changed to that name. Like, you don't just start a world saying, like, let's start with a very positive mindset of Endless Carnage.
But it is at least original, right? I want to harken back to the Han days. They had the very unique brainchild of calling the planet New Earth. You know, like
yeah, because that hasn't been used
a
in
newer
many...
Earth. Ha!
Yeah. You know, I'm fairly certain that's appeared in a lot of things before Heroes of New Earth.
Probably. Toby, just so you're aware, I was trying to be sarcastic.
Oh, okay. When you talk about Han, I always assume you're trying to talk in a positive light. Because you always talk about the good days.
Just because it was the most positive part of my life thus far does not mean that the entire community will look upon that game's reign in the same way.
Oh, that's cute. You think the game reigned.
Never mind. I don't know why I've got wrestling on my mind. I want to start talking about Roman Reigns. I have no idea what's wrong with me.
Who was Roman Reigns?
Man, get back. We're on pause, Toby.
We're on pause. We'll resume this sidetrack conversation after this important game. So, Virtus.pro, retreat. No puppy paws. There's no instant fight directly after.
See.
So AC gets completed over on no one. A couple of items are starting to finally reach it. We're looking at Shadow Deep, we're looking towards an Aghanim Scepter. That may take a while. Lee Solo has a mech getting closer towards Greaves. They're getting a bit of better sustain into the pockets of Virtus.pro. While Vici Gaming, they start their attention towards Roshan. Roshan may respawn in 20 seconds, so I don't know if Ori just missed the counter on it. But yeah, he's not a possibility yet. But I'm liking the double 4-stars arriving for Vici. Just that ability to keep the distance, like if they need to just push Ori away. It's like, Ori, turn away from the like and we'll push and push and push.
Well, I mean, Rubik and Sniper have had theirs up since 20 minutes in. Yeah. They recognize, look, hey, we can never have too many of these, right?
Yep. So now you got Rubik, Grimstroke, as well as Sniper, who all have 4-stars. So yeah, triple 4-stars, not double. How do you push this? Like, they're coming towards the mid lane. I put down an observer underneath the Radiant Sentry that's already planted as well. That's just sad. that's your critical vision that you need to keep up. Yeah, the war just took damage. They realize something's not right. They plant down their own obs defensively to see it. But for Virtus.pro, they've been wrapping around the back while everyone's been focusing on dewarding. VG very clustered together. They found Resolution. He feels a little bit like bait, turning on the pulse, and maybe they have enough physical damage to get through Resolution. No, they don't. Mech, you've got enough with the GA not even being burnt just yet. Maybe when save goes down, Virtus.pro will think about retreating out this one. No one can't do enough damage when he gets choked up in the tree lines. And Omni-Knight, now he'll burn that Aghanim's Guardian Angel, and it is! He actually stole it! Rubik was waiting for it! You knew it was coming! And now another Hoofstorm, clean off the army, but they need to kill off Epikid, and they're able to catch him out too. Never-ending slows, add an extra stun, assassinate the guy for good measure. And now Vici Gaming can push high ground with a stolen level 3 Aghanim Scepter Guardian Angel. Or they can just take Roshan in 47 seconds.
Ori's been watching some StarCraft recently because he has that perfect item of the BKB, puts himself within the trees, you know, limiting the areas of approach for these melee creeps. And you can see BKB knows, like, I'm going to hit that sniper like I want to, but there's no damage from Rezo anymore because there's a BKB. So he just stands still, and VP realizes they can't do a damn thing.
A Solar caught out underneath his own shrine. Burns the Greaves, he's there for 53 seconds. The army was pushed in by Lycan on the bottom, but they won't stop Eurus from trying to beat into the tower. Resolution's getting some level of rebuttal into the tier 2. Even if they lose their mid-racks, Vici Gaming, they're not going to be out of this game yet, because you're kind of in recovery mode for Vici on your side lanes, and there are only 3 players at the moment, that it won't stop Eurus from doing it. A disruption. Backdoor protection has started to kick in. Have they got enough damage to get through it?
No one's in the base.
It's close, and yep, they have enough. Meanwhile, no one has taken the tier 3 tower.
Stolen GA, though, with the Ags, as you said, keeping the top lane and bottom lane safe.
Nice BKB from no one. He'll TP out onto the cover of that as well. And what do we got stolen? Now it's going to be the... Well, it's the Wolves. How does that actually work with the Aghanims buff up?
There's no way.
Does that actually function when you have it just sitting there?
It might. We're going to find out. Because
in 15 seconds, do wolves spawn?
Will you have wolf friends spawning in every lane for Radiant? That would be insane. I don't think... In theory, it should work. What do you think? Will it or not? I say will.
That's my drum roll. That's all I got for you.
Damn it!
Oh! Just when you thought it wouldn't happen. Wolf friends, everybody. Wolf friends.
Just when you thought he was wrong.
I also love how JJ actually picked the right lane as well. Like they spawned on the bottom lane. Into Roshan. VG Gaming go.
It's definitely better with 3 wolves in one lane than 1 wolf in every lane, because that just turns into free gold for whoever's clearing the waves.
Well, Roshan's going down. Saves nearby. Can anyone jump in closer? Oh, the pickup. Rubik able to get the grab on Resolution. He can't get the jump on with Assault Vine. Lycan just can't run forward, even with the BKB. Roshan will go down. Aegis Immortals into the hands of the SD of all the heroes. Dire actually ended up killing off Roshan this one, and they're on top of Ori. No one. They need to bring him down. He's the big focal point. Resolution comes in. These BKBs are going to start wearing off, and Resolution will start to really be effective. The BKBs are gone. Watch this Pulse Nova. Maybe Xiao Yu can create some space with a great double half stomp. They just keep the pressure up. Lycan staying in. Disruption buying him some more time as Ori was focusing him. They're all still trying to retreat back out. Finally, a player's going to go down. Grimstrike will die. Rubik so low on life. Resolution just continues to jump in. He's spilling the damage. Ori will fall. Solo with the Omni Slash. It's so much damage. They didn't have the creeps. Eurus, he waited out perfectly. Gets a rebuttal with no one as well as Solo. Both falling down, but they're not done yet. Even on low life, they're still ready to fight VG Gaming. They won't find their target. Resolution's TPing out at Arteezy's home. And Epi Kid looks like he'll get back to safety as well. But the mid lane's pushing in. Our friendly wolves are doing their work, beating into the range racks. And VP, they'll have to come and clean up.
What a fight. You can see the BKBs.
Let's see it again.
Yeah, this is all, like, VP they recognize, like, we're G8, and Rezo has absolutely no fear. He knows this BKB is fading, and you have to get aggressive. It doesn't matter if you're a little behind in the fight, whatever. If you can't get on top of Ori, you will lose the fight, and they've got to continue to pursue that.
Welcome back to live. We're just picking off where we left off. Omni Knight picked up, throwing down. They had that stun control, but here comes Resolution again, right on top of the Rubik, looking for the damage. The Stampede being used from VG Gaming just to disengage. And Virtus.pro, now the ones who wish to carry the conch, be the aggressors against VG Gaming. You don't care if they were almost 15,000 net worth up and 15,000 experience up. You start to swinging this back your way. You're only 1 melee racks down.
You are, and Toby, take a breath, my man. I'm welcome back, but this is just day 1, game 1.
Sorry, Carl, I didn't realize you like to talk during games.
Well, it's tough to get a word in when they're continuously battling. Even with Ori dead, Vici just said, why not? We'll keep getting in there. MKB is next up for no one. He's got the AC complete. The items for VP rather, starting to become very relevant when you consider that the BKBs of Vici are fading, and when evasion is no longer a threat, you've got Ori actually going for the Abyssal Blade on his sniper.
Well, it's the only way he can stun the Lycan when he gets close, but I'm also liking how he gets that control, then you get the Nullifier, which has just been completed over on Eurus.
And Jay just taking us through these level 25 talents that are going to be coming up soon.
I was surprised with all the pushing around, he doesn't go for the knockback distance over the assassination cooldown time. I mean, cast time.
That's a good point, actually.
It's a weird thing, but like...
It's a rare good point as well.
Thanks, Kyle.
No problem. So, Octarine soon to come on the left track. The big timing for him is level 25 for sure. You're going to have that double edict damage per cast. You also have it up faster, of course. And 6K gold on Epileptic Kid. This is a lot of money in the bank. I'd like to see him pick up an item, but he's got to, it's tough at this phase to think about what is actually the highest impact item. I'm not even sure. Do you have damage?
Right now, maybe Gem, because they saw the sentry ward being placed. They didn't actually see him properly. It was Solo doing a smoke ward mission. But yeah, you saw that okay, smoke breaks, blink, hop stomp. They caught out the Chen. He planted the sentry ward down the hill, but didn't actually see VG game, but VG saw the ward. So they got information knowing that VP were up on the hill. Find the pickoff, and now that's a minute without that big sustain, without that hand of God as well as Grief. But can they push back in time?
find out. Nullifier up on Eurus. This is huge. I wouldn't mind seeing him grab some kind of initiation tool just so he's able to get that off fast. You want to try and... it's tough. You can't really stop VP from saving their ally is the issue. Even if they go for the Omni, who you want to kill, there's an SD behind him.
His initiation really feels to be either Stampede or just this never-ending combination. Like PYW as well as DY have been right on point with their synergies. Yeah. The second a target is soulbound, like PYW just going ham on him. It's like, oh, we're gonna pick both of you up. We're gonna throw both of you away. We're gonna like get you totally controlled.
Yeah, and the status quo in terms of who can actually control these fights of a long duration is going more and more towards VP's side. They have this AGS GA, so no matter what, if you get a couple BKBs out of Vici, you just pop GA, the fight's extended. No one has any fear. There's no method of dispelling it. What are you supposed to do as Vici? There's no magic damage. You're just gonna have to sit there and wait. And VP, like, their cores are so tanky. No one, 3,500 HP, soon to have the MKB. Leshrac, soon to have an Octarine level 25, nearly 3,000 HP. Omni Knight, 3k HP. A Chen with Greaves and SD behind them. You just don't have the damage any longer as Vici unless you find a pick-off initially. That's tough under the circumstances.
Well, coming into that fight, the MKB is completed. And Lycan thinks about a target. Blinky or Scepter Resolution will stop this, just like VPF before, but BKB TP out from Xiao Yu will get him away to safety. The damage output was still pretty good, but they hadn't enough to get through 3.7k of a Centaur.
And you can see Vici fear the hard commit now. Throughout the mid game, they were confident, even into the vestiges of the late game, but now all of a sudden, they fear this threat because VP, they don't really need initiation necessarily. They just run in.
So Vici, Shapeshift's burned. They come out again. This is the small window of opportunity they have. The Abyssal Blade is completed on Ori coming into this fight, but if you keep your eye on the buyback menu, the only one who's really got it right now is Centaur, but it won't matter when they explode Resolution. He has buyback of his own, but Vici Gaming want to move from one to the next. Chasing Virtus.pro over into the trees. Maybe they can force the buyback over on Resolution. Stampede forward, another Hoof Stomp solo to be caught out once again, near where he died just a couple of minutes ago.
This is probably what we're going to see repeated for whatever's left of this game. VP going to try and find some opportunity to blow every single cooldown, force that huge fight that they can take. Vici want to avoid it at all costs and then immediately have an offensive of their own with the cooldowns waiting in the wings for VP. That Lycan LT is the one to watch, specifically 70 seconds on it, and without it, no one has a very hard time sticking around in fights.
Well, the fight will be forced. The mid-range ranks isn't enough for VP to really fight over, and Vici know it. That's why you got Xiao Yu on the bottom lane pushing to the tier 2 tower. Build up his retaliate stack and get ready to fight. 27 seconds until Resolution is up. That's more than enough time for VG just to hit up to the high ground. There is no glyph available for VG Gaming at the moment. And that tower just evaporates, plus 427 damage on the Centaur. The shrapnel clearing out the tree line, so they know they're going to be safe. What ends up getting stolen, Purification. So 2 lanes of Rax to be the sacrifice the VP will have to make for VG Gaming's 2-hero pickoff.
It's a 21k gold lead, Toby. It does not feel like that much.
It's only because, like, if VP take one fight, their push strength is so good because you it's Leshrac, Lycan. Like, screw everyone else. Like, Leshrac and Lycan are going to be the ones that just rip down a lane. But as long as VG Gaming have buybacks available, it's never a huge threat. And unlike before, now everyone has buyback available for VG Gaming.
And now their initiation is so much stronger. You can see the 25 talent from Xiao Yi picked up 1.5 plus seconds on the stun instead of the Retaliator. I like the decision just because they need to find that lockdown to get any kind of kills. Omni Knight as well. 8 seconds less on the Heavenly Grace cooldown. You can now have that up on 2 targets with 100% uptime, disregarding cast time, of course. Quite nice, but they really need it on Leshrac. Rezo is just a quarter level away from being able to pick that up, and then all of a sudden he gets real powerful. Gonna hopefully finish his Octarine soon as well. And yeah, there's a big gold lead for Vici, but when you get all these cores to 6 slotted, it really doesn't matter who has more savings.
Let's watch Roshan. We've got a Rubik illusion in there. The Wolf Keel's over. He'll spawn in 3 seconds time. Virtus.pro were the ones who were able to kill him and claim the Aegis last time around. Of course, it was in the hands of the Shadow Demon, not the one they wanted, but at least it stopped VG Gaming from having it. But VG, more than likely, will be a little bit more cautious this time around.
Pressure orb.
They're looking for a pick.
Enormous, whoever can pick this up.
My God, Resolution is such bait. 9-second BKB, he's ready to take it.
Look at Omni, he picked up a refresher. I actually think this is perfect because the GA effectively wins you 10 seconds of the engagement. Now you've got 20. You actually cannot fight into VP with all of their guns loaded. You need to just bait it and get out.
GA.
Yeah.
So what, start the fight off with Centaur and then just disengage?
Yep.
Oh, Roshan is up, the wolf kills the Haste Rune. Eurus is actually really hoping for that too. He moved the bottle into place of his phase boost, so he's able to grab it. Not a lot of slots for VG Gaming to work with, but they bring Roshan down just above 50%. Virtus.pro, they're a little bit further to the south. They're not taking the bait just yet. They'll just keep sending one wolf after the other, gives them all the information they need. And thanks to their Observer and Sentry, they're also very much aware there is no vision from VG Gaming on that side, but it won't matter. SD gets that jump in with the Blink Dagger. Disruption on Ori. If they can bring him down, Satanic, actually just a lot of lifesteal back up again. Ori, get up the hill and away with the Stampede. He's actually gone and forced himself over through the Aegis. Begins his TP away, but the Yule Scepter, the BKB immunity did not last long enough. Resolution catches him out. Buyback is available. Now I'll finally be committed as Lashrak is falling down. The GA comes once again. This is round 2 for him. And Xiao Yu, he actually has enough damage to get through Resolution. Buyback in from him. They need that extra damage. Ori still trying to walk himself back up through the mid lane to bring it in. The Shrapnel's there in VP. They've overstayed their welcome now. VG Gaming, if they can kill Resolution, it will be absolutely massive. But disruption from Safe, keeping Eurus off his tail. Same with their Beacon, bringing Resolution back to relative safety. But now Roshan becomes a big opportunity for VG Gaming.
Dude, huge miscue there. Just lack of coordination. They overlapped the disrupt with the GA. It was a quarter second afterwards. When you're banished to the Shadow Realm, these positive buffs don't affect you.
Oh, God.
He just dies.
And they actually get the pick off with the half stop defensive disruption. It's their Resolution pulled back in by Solo, but the damage output still enough to get through the Omni Knight, but buyback is available. Lashrak into that BKB, but the damage from no one. The back lines, he's going in. He's almost killing off the Centaur before starving him away. All the damage output went to the biggest, tankiest heroes of all, Virtus.pro. They're going to lose 3 heroes. 2 of them do not have buyback, and that is GG. Virtus.pro, they put up a valiant effort and pushed this game to 50 minutes, but VG Gaming, slow and methodical push to a Game 1 victory against Virtus.pro.
Oh, yeah. If there's anything ROT squad can be looked at as, it is to try and be as mistake-free as possible.